If you Google Elon Musk, I think you have 156 million search results.
Really?
76 million Twitter followers. You're definitely one of the most popular people on earth. Is popularity a pleasure or a liability for you?
Well, it makes it difficult to go buy a coffee at the corner store, that's for sure. So it's hard to go around places, you know. I used to be able to just, you know, go to the store or walk down the street, and now it's quite difficult to do that.
Nowhere on the internet is there a complete documentary video on Elon Musk. So our team at Zico Africa decided to swing into action and do the hard work ourselves. The purpose of this video isn't just to entertain you with the success or failure stories of this magnate, but to teach, inspire, and place you on a journey to greatness and exceptionality. So, we will strongly recommend that you grab your popcorn, find a cozy place, and watch this video till the very end. When you hear the name Elon Musk, what comes to your mind? Tesla, Twitter, SpaceX, Neuralink, Starlink, Solar City, the boring company, and the richest man in the world. Elon Musk has become quite a household name from young to old. Everyone knows who Musk is and his vision. It is quite safe to say that he is gradually becoming the greatest person in our century. But how much of Elon do we really know? Is he an angel sent by God to save humanity, or an evil genius seeking to destroy our world? Come with us as we explore the life of Elon Musk and also see the lessons we can learn from his adventure-filled journey. Welcome to Zico Africa, the platform that has embarked on a journey to eradicate poverty. Elon Reeve Musk was born on the 28th of June 1971 in Pretoria, South Africa, to parents Errol and Mayi Musk. While some kids will sit around crying and grumbling to their parents when they needed anything, Elon showed passion for entrepreneurship early, going house to house with his brother, selling homemade chocolate Easter eggs, and developing his first computer game at the age of 12. Which he later sold to PC and Office Technology magazine for approximately $500. He was also said to have rented his house to be used as a nightclub during his time in the university. All these, my friends, marked the beginning of Elon's journey to creating wonderful things and to entrepreneurship. Elon's journey to immigration began through his Canadian-born mother, Mayi Musk. At 17, the billionaire tech entrepreneur obtained Canadian citizenship through his mother and relocated to Canada in 1989, just before his 18th birthday. Several factors influenced his decisions to leave South Africa, but his two main reasons were that he was trying to avoid mandatory military service during the apartheid era in South Africa, and also, just like many Africans who leave their home country, he believed that there were better opportunities for him in North America. When Elon got to Canada, he did several odd jobs like working on a farm and lumber mill to survive before getting admitted into Queen's University in Ontario. Later on, he moved to United States of America and transferred to the University of Pennsylvania on a student visa. There, he earned degrees in economics and physics. In 1999, Musk moved to California to attend Stanford University, and with his brother Kimball, he co-founded the online city guide software company, Zip2. Musk moved to San Francisco after graduating from the University of Pennsylvania to do his PhD in materials science at Stanford. He dropped out after 2 days at this prestigious university to build his first online company. This was because Elon believed in the business potential of the internet. Alongside his brother, he created a platform that started as a global link information network aimed at providing local businesses with an online presence. His company later evolved to providing and licensing online city guide software to newspapers, enabling them to create digital directories with maps and business listings after a $3 million funding from a venture capital firm called Davido Ventures in 1996. There was a darker side to this deal. The venture capital firm agreed to invest in the company only if Elon Musk would step down as the CEO. Musk needed the money to expand his business, so he accepted the offer and assumed the role of Chief Technological Officer, while Rich Sakin became the CEO of the company. In the beginning, Musk and his brother were the only ones who believed in their idea and the only ones funding it. They also did all of the work themselves, as hiring an employee was above their pay grade at that time. Musk handled the technical aspects of the company, while Kimball shifted his attention to sales. Musk had just $2,000 to his name, and his brother had a bit more. They couldn't even afford to get an apartment, so they slept in their office and showered at the local YMCA. Reports have it that the brothers got an investment of $20,000 from their father, Elon Musk. Although Elon later took to Twitter to explain that Elon contributed just $20,000 to Zip2 in a round of angel funding that raised $200,000 after the company was already well established. In other words, he was saying that his father didn't really do much. Musk had a completely different method of handling things, and this made him have problems with Sakin and the employees at Zip2. He felt like Sakin was mismanaging the team. Musk was also said to micromanage and rudely criticize his team. His employees found him difficult to work with and felt the workplace was too toxic, and so some of them left the company. Elon later organized a coup to oust Sakin as the CEO and reinstate himself. And in 1999, Elon Musk's company Zip2 was sold to Compaq for approximately $307 million. Musk received about $22 million from the sale, which represented his 7% stake in the company, while his brother got $15 million. Not too bad for two broke college boys who once slept in their office to cut costs.
Elon bought a McLaren F1 for approximately $1 million and poured the rest of the money into his next ventures.
For Elon, this was just the beginning. In March 1999, Musk co-founded X.com, an online financial services and email payment company, with $12 million of the money he made from the sales of Zip2 to Compaq. Musk's motivation for founding X.com stemmed from his vision to create a seamless and efficient online payment system. He recognized the ever-growing potential of the internet and wanted to use it to revolutionize the banking industry. His goal was to build a non-stop online financial service that could manage everything from money transaction to intricate financial transactions. Elon is a hell of a genius. X.com was among the first online banks that allowed users to perform a variety of banking functions. It was also among the first online banks to be federally insured. There were a few problems, though.
A lot of people didn't buy the idea of integrating every financial service under one company. X.com was an innovation that was way ahead of its time, as the internet was still in its infancy, and also it was difficult to get customers. But Elon was determined to make it work, and within 2 months, X.com attracted over 200,000 sign-ups.
But there was another problem, one that wasn't really within Elon Musk's control. There was strong competition from other startups in the online payment space. One of X.com's major rivals was Confinity. Confinity was a software company based in Silicon Valley. It was founded in December 1998 by Max Levchy and Peter Thiel. It was initially meant to be a Palm Pilot payments and cryptography company. The company was launched in 1998 as FieldLink and later renamed Confinity. Most of Confinity's initial employees were Stanford alumni and Peter Thiel's associates from an organization called the Stanford Review, which he also co-founded in 1987 to give students a different voice from what was usually heard on campus. After a few years of fierce rivalry, both companies recognized that combining their strengths would enhance their market position in online payments. At first, Elon resisted the merger, viewing it as a surrender to a winnable war, but later agreed. The merged entity retained the name X.com, but consumer preference led to its rebranding as PayPal in 2001. After the merger, Bill Harris remained in his position as the CEO. Elon was chairman and also focused on the technical aspects of the company. Peter Thiel, who was Confinity's CEO, became Executive Vice President of Finance, while Max Levchin remained as CTO. Over time, the merged company became increasingly dissatisfied with Harris, who lacked technical experience and began shifting the company's culture towards a more corporate American style. This resulted in Thiel's resignation as Executive Vice President of Finance. Marx quickly stepped in by planning a coup to remove Harris and take up the mantle of CEO.
Now, I'm kind of certain that Elon's secret talent is planning coups.
Ultimately, this decision backfired for Elon, as his executive team became increasingly frustrated with his leadership due to his relentless pursuit of unrealistic goals. Maybe karma does exist. On the 3rd of October 2002, shortly after PayPal's IPO, eBay acquired the company for $1.5 billion in eBay stock. Marx made about $165 million from the deal, which he poured into his next venture. Thiel earned $55 million from his 3.7% stake in the company, while Levchin got $34 million. Some of the employees at PayPal went on to create or advance other technological companies based in Silicon Valley and became what is known as the PayPal Mafia. These employees include Elon Musk, founder of SpaceX and Tesla, Peter Thiel, the founder of Palantir Technologies and one of the first investors of Facebook, Reid Hoffman, co-founder of LinkedIn, Max Levchin, CEO of Affirm, David Sachs, founder of Yammer and Genie.com, and engineers Steve Chen, Jawed Karim, and Chad Hurry, who went on to create the wonderful platform you are watching this video on, YouTube.
SpaceX was founded by Elon Musk in March 2002. With a vision of decreasing the costs of space launches and, most importantly, to colonize Mars.
That is one crazy dream. It sounds like the kind of thing that we see in science fiction movies. SpaceX began its operation shortly after and became the first private company to achieve several important milestones in spaceflight, including launching and recovering a spacecraft from orbit, sending a spacecraft to the International Space Station (ISS), launching astronauts into space, and docking a crewed spacecraft with the ISS on its own. It wasn't always a bed of roses for SpaceX. The company has had its fair share of failures, from unsuccessful rocket acquisition deals, failed launches, to bankruptcy. After being ousted as CEO of PayPal and replaced by Peter Thiel in September 2000, Elon decided to pursue his true passion, space travel, and also to create something more profoundly ambitious than PayPal. As a child, Elon had always been fascinated by space exploration, and this was fueled by his love for science fiction books, particularly The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which inspired his dream of interplanetary existence. He even conducted small rocket experiments in his backyard and expressed a desire to make humans a multiplanetary species, which later influenced his founding of SpaceX. It's okay to say that Elon had always been a dreamer. When SpaceX started, Elon had no real experience in the space industry, though he had previously been studying about space travels and was also a member of an organization called the Mars Society, a non-profit organization mostly filled with scientists, engineers, and educators who are obsessed with space travel as well as the exploration and settlement of Mars. It was founded in 1998 by Dr. Robert Zubrin. Its mission includes public outreach, advocating for government-funded Mars research, and supporting private space ventures aimed at Mars exploration. Elon came up with a project, which he dubbed the Mars Oasis. This project aimed to send a small robotic lander to Mars to grow plants, demonstrating that life could exist on the planet, thereby reigniting public interest in space exploration and promoting his Mars colonization agenda. Elon is such a smart guy. He knew he lacked real knowledge and experience in the space field, so he compensated for that by reaching out to people whom he believed would be an asset to his team. He first called a guy called Adio Resi, one of his friends from college days. But there was a little problem. The guy, too, had no experience in space travel. So he called Jim Cantrell, who worked on several joint missile programs between America and Russia. He told Cantrell that he was a billionaire who wanted to save humanity by sending humans to Mars. After pitching his idea to Cantrell, he thought Elon was crazy, but he still managed to meet Elon after putting in place some security measures to guarantee his safety. One of them was insisting that they meet behind the security checkpoint at the Salt Lake City airport. After meeting and discussing with Elon, Cantrell was convinced that Elon wasn't crazy and agreed to come on board. In October 2001, Elon, Adio, and Cantrell traveled to Paris to negotiate the purchase of a rocket with a French aerospace company called Latitude. The deal didn't go well, as the only rockets available were over $100 million, and Elon only had about $30 million. Later on in the same year, Elon and his team traveled to Russia, seeking to purchase intercontinental ballistic missiles for his ambitious plans. And just like his former, his Russia trip was fruitless. The determined Elon realized he couldn't afford rockets, so he decided to build one himself. Elon began assembling a team of engineers. He first reached out to two friends named Tom Mueller and John Gavi, who were members of a group of amateur rocket enthusiasts named Research Reaction Society. Mueller, who had a degree in mechanical engineering, had always been obsessed with building rockets ever since he was a child. He previously worked for a company called TRW and developed the TR-106 engine. He met John Gavi at their organization's event, and the two became close friends and partners, spending their weekends building rockets together. Elon sought to hire both Gavi and Mueller, but Gavi declined his offer. Mueller, on the other hand, accepted his job proposal. Elon then hired a guy named Chris Thompson, who was also an aerospace engineer and worked at Boeing. These two went on to become the first and second employees at SpaceX. In 2002, SpaceX began building the famous Falcon 1, its first rocket. Elon believed that the Falcon 1 would be the future of space exploration. But there was a problem. Building a rocket that big would require a large amount of money, which Elon didn't have. Elon later scaled through this hurdle after receiving some amount of money from the sale of PayPal, and On the 24th of March 2006, SpaceX first Falcon 1 rocket launched at 22:30 UTC from the Kwajalein Atoll in the Marshall Islands. However, the rocket failed 25 seconds after liftoff due to a fuel leak that caused an engine fire. This wasn't a success for the team, but it was not a total failure. After the launch, Elon and his team celebrated this little win with drinks because he knew that it was the beginning of greater things to come. In 2008, SpaceX was also on the verge of bankruptcy and was later saved by Peter Thiel, who invested $20 million in the company through his venture capital firm Founders Fund, which he launched in 2005. Peter and Elon might not have had a great relationship while working together at PayPal, but they certainly stuck together and were always willing to help each other out. Although SpaceX has not achieved its initial dream of colonizing Mars, but it's okay to say that they are on the right track and making huge progress, as they have successfully launched several rockets into orbit, such as the Falcon Heavy, which has triumphantly completed several launches. The first, second, and third being on February 6th, 2018, April 11th, 2019, and June 25, 2019, respectively. SpaceX has even gone on to create their own satellite internet service called Starlink that provides fast and reliable internet to people all over the world, especially in areas where internet access is poor or unavailable, which we will talk about later on in this video. There's no doubt that Operation Mars colonization is definitely a goal for Elon, and SpaceX's success is as a result of his persistence, constant input of effort and dedication to this cause.
Hi there. If you've ever wanted to create professional videos like mine, this is for you. The editing course I recommend is Pro Edit, a trusted program that teaches you how to make clean, cinematic edits step by step. Whether you're just starting out or sharpening your skills, Pro Edit gives you everything you need to tell your story with impact. I've included my affiliate link in the description. Check it out and start editing like a pro today. Thank you.
Just like AI, at one time, electric vehicles were kind of an impossible thing, and people were still debating if the automobile industry would be able to innovate to that extent or not. But Elon, on the other hand, had a history of chasing seemingly impossible goals, and in 2004, he became Tesla's largest shareholder after investing $6.5 million of his own money into the company. Tesla was founded in 2003 by two Silicon Valley engineers named Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning, who sought to make electric cars that were fast and fun to drive. The car brand was named after world-famous electric engineering pioneer and inventor of alternating current, Nikola Tesla. The company was originally named Tesla Motors, but the name was changed to Tesla in 2017. To reflect the company's broader focus on energy solutions beyond just electric cars. Tesla founders Martin Eberhard and Mark Tarpenning were inspired to start the company after General Motors recalled all its EV1 electric cars in 2003 and destroyed them. Their goal was to create an electric car that was powerful, beautiful, and with zero emissions. In the year 1990, Tarpenning met Eberhard, who was an engineer at Wise Technology at that time, and they became good friends. The two then went on to launch a company called Nuvo Media, which developed the Rocket ebook in 1998. The Rocket ebook was one of the first e-readers with secure internet delivery and also the innovation that laid the groundwork for the modern ebook industry. Before that, Eberhard also co-founded a technological company known as Network Computing Devices in 1987. After Tesla's founding, Eberhard assumed the role of CEO while Tarpenning was CFO. The duo first met Elon in 2001 after hearing him speak at a Mars Society talk at Stanford University. Elon already had a portfolio of successful startups at that time. In 2004, Musk led the initial round of funding, investing $6.5 million into the company and soon joined as the head of the board of directors. Tesla's original plan was to focus on lithium-ion batteries and start with a high-margin, high-performance sports car dubbed the Roadster. Soon enough, they were ready to begin operation. To many, Musk's involvement in the company is a blessing, but to a few, it is a curse. Just like every other company, Tesla has faced many ups and downs. In August 2007, Martin Eberhard was ousted as CEO of Tesla by Elon Musk and the other members of the board of directors due to concerns over production delays and operational issues with the Tesla Roadster. According to Eberhard, Musk and Tesla's board had met behind him and voted to replace him as CEO. Later in 2009, Eberhard sued Musk, alleging that Musk defamed him, but it was later settled within the same year. Eberhard was then replaced by Michael Marks, who served as the interim CEO. In December 2007, Ziv Dory became the permanent CEO and president of the company. During Ziv's administration, Tesla launched its first and long-awaited car, the Roadster, on March 17, 2008. And in October of the same year, Elon Musk became the CEO of Tesla and has held that position since. Elon took over the mantle of CEO when Tesla was going through a tough time and took several difficult decisions to save the company. He first cut 25% of the workforce, recalled 75% of the Roadster, raised $40 million, formed a partnership with a German car manufacturer called Daimler, and borrowed $465 million from the United States Department of Energy. In 2010, Tesla IPO'd on Nasdaq, raising $226 million and becoming the first American company to go public since Ford in 1956. Tesla produced and sold around 2,450 Roadsters between 2008 and 2012. In June of 2012, Tesla decided to launch their second EV, the Model S luxury sedan, along with its first SUV, the Model X, and by the end of the year, they discontinued the production of the Roadsters to focus on the manufacturing of their sedans. In the same year, Tesla also launched its first charging stations as a marketing strategy to help sell more cars. In 2013, Elon announced the Tesla Gigafactory located in Story County, Nevada, a facility that spans approximately 3,000 acres and is designed to produce lithium batteries and electric components. Its aim is to significantly increase battery production capacity and is a key part of Tesla's strategy to support its vehicle manufacturing efforts. Under Elon's leadership, the company has gone on to achieve other wonderful milestones like revealing the autopilot, the Powerwall, and the Power Pack, and announcing the Model 3. Tesla's Model S became the first electric vehicle to win Motor Trend's Car of the Year award. Elon has transformed the company from just an electric car manufacturer to a full technological company. By the end of 2017, the electric car manufacturer reached a market cap of $52.3 billion, surpassing Ford in value. On the 21st of December 2020, Tesla was added to the S&P 500 index, a stock market index that tracks the performance of the 500 largest companies in the United States. As of December 22, 2024, Tesla has reached a market capitalization of $1.32 trillion and is the 8th largest company by market capitalization.
Elon Musk's net worth is said to be around $395.6 billion, and Tesla contributes significantly more to his wealth, with Musk holding about 22.3% of the company's total outstanding stock. As of December 2024, Tesla has dominated the automobile industry with a market cap that surpasses that of the 9 largest car companies combined.
Tesla's greatness began the very day that Elon took on the position of CEO. This indirectly translates to the level of a company's accomplishment is determined by those who occupy the leadership positions. Elon might have assumed the position of CEO using strategies that many might not approve of, but there's definitely no doubt that he has and continues to do a good job. He might not be the most perfect person, but he surely knows how to take a company to the next level.